Welcome back to Deman's Garage. Hope you're having a blessed day. Thank you for tuning in. Figure we hit y'all with a little something different today. Gonna be dropping a little video. I know you guys have seen my cars. Got the GTO, got the Challenger Scat Pack, Cummins Turbo Diesel. We got a travel trailer. We got a gang of vehicles, let's face it. But one of my main hobbies that I've always had prior to, I've always been a car guy, but prior to getting my Challenger, before I was going out hitting the weekend cruises all the time, was brewing. So, gonna get back into the swing of things. This is my homemade kegerator that I made back in 2020. As you can see right now, it's empty, which is a bad thing. So today we're gonna be filling that baby. Gonna be brewing up a double IPA. It's called 6-point resin IPA. So let's go ahead and get into it. I'll start setting up my my stovetop. Gotta go out here, set it up in the garage, grab a propane tank, and we'll get to brewing. So stick around. Hope y'all enjoy the video. Had to go rescue this baby from the ashes. Wipe that down a little bit. Grab my propane tank. But yes, I brew on a Camp Chef 3 burner. I used to just brew on a single burner, but that's got room. I could put other pots, brewing equipment next to it. So that way, you know, I got my little table. I'll show you guys in my setup pretty soon. But yeah, it's our travel trailer. I'm gonna go out here and snag a tank, you know what I'm saying? You're coming with me. So yeah, it's good old propane. Hank Hill set up to brew beer. Seen people use single burner. You know, you can use a burner all the way up to anything like an electric brewing system, which you could actually dial in the temperature. Thing with a burner is that you have to actively manage the temperature, which, I don't know, kind of the fun part about brewing. Of course, eliminating all those different variables. Anything you could do to eliminate a variable, like, you know, your beer boiling at a certain temperature, that's not too big of a deal. Just needs to boil. We'll talk about that soon. But fermentation's huge. It's got to be a nice fermentation temperature depending on what you're brewing. So, see, this old dog still works. No gas. Oh my. Still cracking. What up, Marl? My dog. What up, Marley? Barney. Yep. Let's get our equipment set up. That works. Give that a wipe. Get into it. All right, y'all, welcome back. I got everything set out. Take a look at our ingredients. We're doing the 6-point resin IPA from Brew. Original gravity should be 1082. 9.1%. Shit, gonna be a big beer. .32-ounce carapils and flaked barley, 4 bags. 7.5 dry Pilsen extract, Warrior hops, Simcoe and Chinook blend, Mosaic and Centennial blend, Cascade and Simcoe and Mosaic blend. Sounds like some good hops right there. Yeast US-05. Looks like we have some dextrose, corn sugar, a grain steeping bag. So it says start by 2.5 gallons. I full batch, so I'll go ahead and pour about 5.5 gallons of water in. Bring that up to about 155. Once that temperature is hit, we'll put the grain in for 20 minutes. Once that's done, we'll discard the grain and bring it up to a boil. Once it's boiling, drop in that Pilsen malt extract and the corn sugar together. You want to do that real slow so it doesn't clump up at the bottom. Once that's in, adding our hops, we'll start our 60-minute boil. Then we'll be doing some Simcoe and Chinooks, 25 minutes right before the end of the boil. 15 minutes before the end of the boil. So this one 35 minutes in, this one 45 minutes in. After the 60, we're going to put in Cascade, Simcoe, and Mosaic as knockout, flame out hops. And then cool down the wort as quickly as possible. Show you how we're going to be doing that. So here's all of our ingredients. Here's our Pilsen dry malt extract. This Brews brand is the best I found if you're doing mini mash brewing. Basically, you got an extract and grain. So there's our extract right there. 7.5 pounds total. Here's our grain. We have our flaked barley blend, and that's this here. And then you have Carapils, which is the nice dark brown malty looking one. Gives you, these here are gonna give you the color of your beer. This is the dextrose or corn sugar, so that's gonna go in with the malt extract. Here's all of our hops. Got the Warrior, Simcoe, Chinook. 15 minutes till the end of the boil, and then our flame out right there. They give you a sock. This is a sock to boil all the grain in. Over here I have, just clean this pot out, but this is a little steeper, so when I'm done with the grain I can set it in there and let the rest of the mash kind of roll into the pot. And then here we have a wort counter chiller. This is basically a copper coil. You get hot water in, cold water in, it cycles through, and then that absorbs the heat from the liquid, bringing warm water out, and then this will rapidly, well, more rapidly than just setting it in a tub or setting it in the air, cool your wort down in about 15 to 20 minutes. Cooling wort, and keeping, once it's cool, you want to cool it as quick as possible. And then once it is cooled and you pitch your yeast, depending on what temperature you need to pitch your yeast. This one calls for temperature range 64 to 78 degrees. So you got a wide range. I'm going to shoot for about 68 degrees, 72, because once you first add your yeast, it's going to kick off and that brew is going to get warm. It's going to ferment a little warmer. So if I could kick that yeast off around 65, maybe it peaks to 72, so we can keep that flavor profile nice and good right there for the ale range. So I'm gonna head inside, grab my boil kettle, grab my water, we'll get started. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Know it's a little something different, but I really love brewing, so let's get down, man. It's hella fun. One of the biggest things about brewing is cleaning and sanitizing. If you don't like cleaning, I wouldn't recommend getting into brewing, but cleaned everything really well with PBW this morning, professional beer wash, and including all the pots, pot, fermenter, all the accessories here, my hydrometer and tube, all my hoses. So now I just added a little bit of Star San, which is a really good product for sanitizing into the fermenter. Need to grab water for this guy, but this is my kettle here. It's 8.5 gallons, so you can easily boil up a 5-gallon batch. I have a corny keg, which are these guys here, old soda kegs. I have one that's been cleaned and ready to go. After the beer is brewed and fermented, that's what it's put into. So that way you can dispense it there on the kegerator. So yeah, I'm gonna fill this with water, get the water going for the brew, put y'all up here, time lapse it, enjoy. All right, y'all, first part of beer, most important part of the ingredient is water. I'm starting off with some distilled, trying something different. I used to just use spring water, but I'm gonna go ahead and use half distilled and half spring water. So I'm gonna go ahead and start out with 5 gallons of water. All right, 2 gallons of distilled in. Got about 5.5 gallons in. Make sure that's closed. Could have already started my fire, but fire cracking. And nice and high. We are at just under 6 gallons of water, about 5.5 gallons. Get with y'all when it's time to start steeping some grains. Basically just a waiting game now. So since we're waiting, still pretty early in the morning too. It's like 9 a.m. So usually I'd be sitting down having a beer right now, but considering the circumstances and how early it is, we'll just go ahead and get our hop sock ready. All right, cool, here we go. So we got going on. Looking for 155, so you can see I'm at 148. I'm gonna go ahead and bump this down a little bit, so that way it comes up to 155 and doesn't go over. So just keep watching this. Once we're at 155, we'll keep moving. Notice I'm sitting off to the side of the valve just in case, you know, it shouldn't fail. Things should, you know, you hope things don't fail, but wouldn't want to be sitting right in front of 150-degree water. So eliminate the hazard. Not hot yet. You're gonna need that guy. Pretty much everything in brewing is heat and time, just like cooking food, cooking beer. And we're about there. Got one more click to go. Alrighty, we're right where we want to be. Got our grain. I'll put this over there. Get this out of the way. As you can see, color of the water is already changing. We got a good steep going on here. So instructions say 155 for 20 minutes. This is a hop spider right here. So I put all my hops in here. I used to put them in a bag. Actually, when I first started, I'd put them in free, but then I was getting a lot of sludge and it was taking up a lot of the hop matter. Overall water, you know, the overall amount of beer I was getting. So now we're using the hop spider. But let's go ahead and set our timer. Probably been about 30 seconds. And go from there. How we looking? Just over. Kick that down a notch. We're looking good. 20 minutes. So you can see that temperature starting to creep a little bit. I did knock out the flame. It's on low. So, you know, that's what's so hard about brewing beer is consistency, consistent timing, temperature, all those things. But hopefully we'll have, well, not hopefully, we will have beer at the end. Who knows if it'll be any good, but yeah, here we go. So came out to join the whole family. That's Marley. Here, look, Marley, say hi to everybody. That's Nice, good steepy. Looks like a good steep. You can tell all of our wort has changed color. Timer just went off. Coming up to temperature. A little bit longer.
And he walked towards you. Oh, sorry.
Hi, buddy. What are you doing? This is my dog, Marley. He's a good boy. We've had him about 10 months or so. Another dog, Grace. Good boy. All right. All right, also we got our got some scissors here that have been, should we turn that all the way down? We got scissors that have been sanitized. This is always the fun part. So just gonna kind of mash this in nice and slow. Whole goal of this is try not to get the malt extract to stick to the bottom of the pot. Usually just put this in nice and slow. Well, that was a huge malt bill. Threw in 2 pounds of dextrose and 7.5 pounds of Brews Pilsner Light. So quite a huge large Quite a big malt bill. So what we're gonna do now, let this come up to temperature. Got to bring it up to a boil. We're gonna have a huge hot break here. Heat break. You're gonna see a lot of bubbles. We'll go ahead and drop in our Cannon hop spider back in here. Starting to smell really good in here. It already smells like a beer. So once we bring this to a boil, we'll be getting ready to do our first hop additions. Stay tuned. All right, we're back. Looks like we got a boil going. Let this break up a little bit. First hop addition, Warrior for bittering. This will be the start of our 60 minutes. All right, everybody, it's been about 35 minutes. Means we're going for our next edition, Simcoe and Chinook. Go ahead and give this a stir. You can definitely see a lot of that hop oil settling into the top. I like to stir these up. You can see all the hop matter coming out into the beer, into the wort rather. It's not beer yet until we ferment it, but creating a nice little hop soup here, my friends. Got about 15 minutes left. It smells absolutely delicious. Now I can get ready to drop in my counterflow chiller. It's going to be kind of challenging because I'm only one person. But what we need to do essentially is grab this dog. I'm going to just drop it in right around that. What we're doing here is we're going to let this boil off in the water. And what that's going to do is go ahead and sanitize the counterflow chiller. So we'll check back with you in 15 minutes or so when we knock out the flame, and then we'll get into the next step. And with the magic of time, here we are at flame out, Cascade Simcoe Mosaic going in. Good old time, Mother Time, Mrs. Elusive. Trash, knock out the flame. You're going to give this a little stir. Let those hops kind of do their thing. So what I'm going to do right now, get this nice and settled in. I'm going to grab this whole entire pot. I'm going to move it over near my hose so I can get the work chiller, get the counter chiller going. So stand by for that. This thing's gonna be pretty heavy. So I'll get it moved over, get back with you guys. All right, so we got the hose set up. Ran out here to the counter chiller. It is running through. Got water going to the grass. So I got a little tiny leak right here. Try to get a hose clamp for this guy. I'm gonna water down my beverage. Always something. Yeah, let me see if I can get something going on this. Part of the fun with brewing, it's always something. You gotta be an engineer, gotta be a chef, a little bit of everything. We gotta figure it out. Either way, what I was saying is that we want to get this down around 65 to 68 degrees before I can go in and pitch yeast. So we'll let this do its thing, keep an eye on it, and we'll get to the next step soon. Here we are transferring. Got down about 70 degrees. Transferring down here into my little fermenter here. Should get a little clip so I can hold this. But beer was made today, ladies and gentlemen. Smells absolutely delicious. Nice and hoppy. Reminds me I gotta get a sample here. Hold on a second. All right, got my keg child chilling here. I was hoping to get down a little cooler than that, but 76 will work. Getting ready to head out. Gonna be pitching the Saf Ale US05. Little happy yeasties. Make sure we get all of it in there. Need every last little yeast. Every last piece of yeast in here. Yeast. I got my blow-off tube here set up. This is set up in some sanitizer. We've just inoculated our beer. Just got the yeast all on top of it. Welcome to your new home. 8 days you will be